everybody, it's Bubs. Long time no see. Once again, I just want to apologize for being so MIA. If you guys keep up on my vlog channel, you guys will kind of know why. Today, I'm really excited to make this video because it's been so long since our last Girl Talk episode. And even though I call it Girl Talk, you know, guys are also welcome too. Especially for today's topic, which is actually a very highly requested topic. How to keep the love alive. For those who don't know, I have been with Tim for ever since I was 16 years old, turning 17. Pretty much say that we're childhood sweethearts. We grew up together and we were dating for 10 years and then married for 3. I should know this. I have pretty much spent almost half of my life with my husband. I am by no means a relationship expert, or do I claim to know everything. So with that being said, there's just been so much that we learned together that kept us together and just kept us from going apart throughout the past 13 years. Bear in mind, there may be some points that you agree with, some not, that's okay, but I just want to share this is what truly saved our relationship so many times, because a lot of times when you guys comment on our videos or pictures or whatever, I see so many hashtag relationship goals, hashtag marriage goals. Very first thing I want to make clear to you guys is we do not have a perfect relationship. I don't believe a perfect relationship exists just because there's no such thing as a perfect person. None of us are born into the world infallible because we're human and we make mistakes. And a lot of times it's the people that you love the most that hurt you the most. Relationships, as we all know, can be challenging. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to start? The most important thing to remember is love is a choice. It's not just a feeling. I feel like people associate love with feelings. You know, feelings of warmth, sparks, confetti, glitter, roses. But it's more than that. Love is actually a choice. So if you really think about it, you really don't need to make effort to fall in love. It just happens naturally. But staying in love is different. At the beginning, with the chase, everything is exciting. You want to be this person all the time. They're just perfect to you. But as time goes on, when it starts to wear off, then you start to realize that actually, just like yourself, this person isn't born into the world infallible. We're not born into the world as perfect people, so of course we're gonna make mistakes along the way. So it takes zero effort to fall in love, but it takes effort to stay in love because you choose to love that person despite their shortcomings. You choose to love them every day. It's a choice that you make. And I feel like today so many marriages fail is because people don't realize this. Hear so many people say relationships shouldn't be this hard, and there is some truth to it. But all of my accomplishments in life, all the ones that mean most to me, are the ones that I put most hard work and effort in. Right now I am writing a book and I just submitted my first complete draft. I opened up in the book something that I've never opened up to you guys, so I'll just briefly touch base here because I don't want to ruin it for the book. If you would ask Tim and I honestly, during these 13 and 14 years, have we ever fallen in and out of love? And our answer would be yes, actually. We've probably fallen in and out of love a good maybe even 2-3 times. For some of you guys, it might be very shocking, but the reality is it's more common than you think. When it comes to relationships, it's so easy to just drift in and out, in and out. We have so many great times, but of course there's also very difficult times. In the end, it all goes down to the two of us deciding if we want to make this work or not. You need to find love is just something you feel. You're setting yourself up for failure and you're just bound to be disappointed. The second point is, especially to my younger viewers out there, something that I had to experience myself to really learn the hard way. And I feel like the danger is when you enter a relationship just expecting the other person to complete you. Especially if you expect someone to make you feel confident or happy all the time. I feel like a lot of people, when they get married with the mindset of, okay, it's your job to make me happy. And don't get me wrong, it's definitely good thing to make the other person happy. You know, I don't believe that you can really experience real joy if you cannot live outside yourself. That's why you get so happy when you know, do something for someone or you get someone a really nice gift. True joy comes from giving rather than receiving. But we also need to understand that your happiness is actually your own responsibility. People can guide you and cheer you on, but in the end, only you can truly help yourself. I guess I started dating when I was really young, but with the guy before, we were just so obsessed with each other. And we pretty much codepended on each other for happiness because deep inside, neither of us, I believe, were secure. He made me ditch my friends. He stopped me from doing so much stuff, and looking back, I don't believe that he truly meant it to hurt me. But I guess when you're young, a lot of times it's also, you've got that selfish part in you and you're always thinking, what about me? What about me? What about me? So what happens is he ended up controlling me a lot. From my own experience, I only know that being this way just ends up wearing and just tearing each other down mentally and physically. It's very demanding and it's not healthy at all. What you really realize is you actually don't have control over them. I mean, you don't own them, they're their own person. Your happiness is completely codependent on them, and yet you really cannot control them, so you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. Understand that your happiness should really be your own responsibility, and you'll find that when you make someone else happy, you'll be happy in the process doing it. If you don't already have that sense of self and joy within, then no one can really truly come in and fulfill that. I know you guys want to spend lots of time together, and I understand, but don't make it so the other person is only your world, that you ditch your family, your friends, and you lose yourself. So don't fall into the trap of completely depending on that person for everything. You need to be your own person. It's all about balance. Let the other person have their space. You need your own space as well. Your identity isn't completely in this person. The third point is to enter relationships with the mindset of giving rather than taking. I feel like I said before, as human, we can be born very selfish. We're always thinking, what about me? What about me? I don't know if we've been conditioned by the media or the movies. There's just this false illusion that makes a lot of young girls and guys think that, okay, when you're with someone, that person's job is to make you happy all the time. I feel like a lot of relationships, they don't work out because they're too busy focused on, oh, you should be doing this to make me happy. But things would be so different if these two people were thinking, what can I do to make you happy, and vice versa. Then it changes everything. You're replacing demand with patience and love. When the people are so focused on themselves and what they should be getting, it focuses on being selfish. And so because of this, many relationships end up crashing and burning. Here's something we did that really truly saved our relationship. Every day we would ask each other, hey, you know, is there anything that I could do for you? As simple as it is, it just changed everything for us. Next up is something that took me 10 years. It was me realizing that, hey, you really actually can't change someone, or you can't fix someone. You are your own person. They are their own person. Whether you're in a relationship, whether you're engaged or married, you don't own them. I can't even tell you all the times I tried to change Tim throughout the past several years, and the more I tried to change him, the more reluctant he was. What you realize is what's actually easier is, instead of worrying about, oh, you should be doing this to change yourself, I focus on myself. Back then, I had a lot of issues when it came to Tim's drinking and some of his circle of friends. A lot of times I thought they were a bad influence, and it's funny how you tackle things and it leads to different results. The more I was like, you need to change this, or you need to be like this more, the more it made him feel less of himself. When I shifted to attitude and just focused more on working on myself, trying to understand more, being patient, just, I guess, you know, concentrating on what I can do, acting out of love instead. It's just like magic, it just changes everything. Today, Tim no longer depends on alcohol and that lifestyle the way he used to. Next up, the point is on forgiveness. Like I said, because we're born into the world completely prone to making mistakes, there's gonna be moments where we're gonna really screw up. We both individually made some really big mistakes. Some of them have been extremely difficult to recover from. I can totally understand for a lot of relationships, for the people, it's just too painful for them to continue that relationship. I feel like for Tim and I's relationship, you know, there's so many moments there where we could have just called it a day. Tim and I were together when we were so young. The hopes is that we grew up together. More often than ever, there were moments where we grew apart. There's gonna be moments where your other half is going to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes, okay? And if you choose to forgive them, understand that this is a process. It will take time. A lot of times people are like, how do I know that he or she is not gonna do it again? Well, the thing is, you don't know. You can't tell the future. No one can tell the future. There's some people say that, oh, once a cheater, always a cheater, whatsoever. You don't know that. Sometimes I believe that when people make a mistake that's so big, it shakes them to the very core and really changes them so they never make the same mistake again. It's very easy when someone makes a mistake or when they make a lie or do something bad, and for you to just, you know, permanently put a stump on them and say, okay, you're a bad person from now on. It doesn't mean they're bad overall, it just means that they did a bad decision or a mistake. In the end, what really matters is this person getting up from their mistake and realizing what they did is wrong and learning from it. I've seen some relationships where, you know, the partner did something like bad and, you know, the other person would just constantly use it against him. Definitely not healthy to use it against them all the time by saying, you owe me, or the reason I'm acting this way is because you did this to me. When you choose to forgive someone, understand that forgiveness is a process, and just understand that it's not always going to be easy. There's going to be some moments you're going to have really good days, and maybe some moments you'll suddenly be reminded and old scars will open again and it will be painful. Remember, that is the past, and don't let your feelings at that moment trigger you to do something that can affect the present. Just be patient, whether you're the one doing forgiving or you're the one that's being forgiven. Yes, maybe it won't be forgotten, but over time it won't hurt so much as it begins to be filled up with happier memories instead. Another thing I feel is very important is to not compare, because I feel like sometimes even I end up doing it, but we end up comparing our relationships of other people. Very easy to look at someone's relationship and it just looks perfectly rosy, and so you compare your behind the scenes of someone's highlight reel. And of course on social media, like, they're gonna show you the best, okay? I'm sure you all know couples who like fight like cats and dogs, and then on Facebook they make everything look perfect. You never know someone else's own story, so don't compare. Understand that we all have our own weaknesses and strengths, and you know, whatever you put your focus on, like a camera lens, it develops and grows bigger. So if you only focus on someone's weak points, then you fail to see their good points. A lot of times when I talk to some of my girlfriends, you know, they'd say stuff like, oh, you're so lucky that Tim is romantic and, you know, he does all this stuff for you. I wish that my husband was more romantic. But it doesn't mean that he doesn't care about her. It just means that he has his own little way of showing how he cares. Even though my friend's husband may not be the most romantic person in the world, he's so caring and attentive, and he's such a good father to her kids. You know, he does all the little stuff, you know, makes her breakfast, preps her dinner. You may know some couples where the boyfriend seems perfect gentleman, romantic gestures, but actually he's not that faithful to her. So in the end, what really matters is their heart. So speaking of heart, it leads us on to the next point, which is love language. Currently, there are 5 love languages, and when you understand this whole concept, it makes things so much easier. Words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. When it comes to your love languages, it doesn't stay the same, you know, throughout the course of your relationship. You know, it changes. Right now, my top 2 love languages are words of affirmation and quality time. I really appreciate quality time where, you know, we sit and enjoy a meal and, you know, we're not playing our phones and it's just completely undivided attention. That to me is important because I'm quite an emotional person. Sometimes I really need encouragement. When it comes to love language, words of affirmation is quite low in his list. Tim's just like a typical guy. He's just like, no, never really has any issues or problems. So sometimes I want to talk about stuff and say, hey, what's going on? He's just like, nothing. but his love language is acts of service. For these people, actions speak louder than words, so he really appreciates it when I make him a nice meal. Everybody's love language is different. To some people, maybe it's physical touch. In order for them to feel love, you know, they feel like they need to be holding hands and kissing. You can take quizzes online, you and your partner, and you can each find out what your main love language is. Your way of feeling love may be different from what your partner's way is. So if we understand what's more important for each other, then when we deliver it, it's so much more clearer. Next point is to listen more. Do you believe that most of us just listen for the intention of replying? It's so easy for us to talk and express ourselves, and it's good that we're expressing ourselves, but it's just equally as important to listen more. A lot of times we're just in such a hurry to express how we feel and what we want. Sometimes people don't realize it, but a lot of times couples talk over each other. Maybe because you're just so excited or eager, but it's quite rude because you're saying that whatever you're saying is more important than the other person, but they're important too, so make them feel important. Next up is appreciating the small things. You just need to look for the tiny joys in your relationship, and if you can appreciate the tiny things, you especially appreciate the bigger things. I appreciate that every night after I take a shower, I will automatically see a glass of water in my bedside table. It's just something little that Tim does out of habit just to make sure that I'm hydrated during the night. And I really appreciate it. Especially make it a habit to say thank you. Use your manners. Couples can get so close that they're just like because they expect things. They show signs of appreciation by saying thank you and please. Especially now that Tim and I, we're parents now. Being able to have time together is so important, because as parents you can be so focused on taking care of that little person and them taking all of your attention. But whether it's just going out for a meal or just watching an episode of a sitcom at night, you need quality time together. Lastly, nothing even matters unless you both bring the best out of each other. When it comes to relationships, just like human, we're growing up, and when we're growing up, we're changing and we're constantly evolving. Our likes and dislikes change. In the end of the day, it's all about compromise, communication, trust, patience. Some moments I just want to throw him out the window. But you know, we fight for it because we find each other worth fighting for. Know that in every relationship, especially marriage of kids, it will require hard work. Never always going to be easy. No one said it was going to be easy. These are the fundamentals of how we keep our love alive. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, everyone.